So the finale of What If Season 2 really gave me a massive headache. Don't get me wrong, What If Season 2 was good, but only the first 6 episodes. Episodes 7, 8, and 9 were just a mess. And no, I'm not here to complain about the overuse of Captain Carter in this season, which could easily be renamed as Captain Carter Season 2. That's not my main issue. I'm always excited to see an iteration of Captain America on screen, whether male or female. But my problem is overpowering the characters again and again and again. Marvel has been overpowering the characters so much lately, whether be it Peggy Carter, Kahori, or Gaia in Secret Invasion. I mean, we see Peggy Carter casually just donning the 6 Infinity Stones and using them without them affecting her at all. Overpowering characters have now reached a level where the writers are just being lazy and writing it into every episode. Now, did the Marvel writers forget what the Infinity Stones have done to Thanos, Smart Hulk, and Tony Stark? Tony literally died wielding the 6 Infinity Stones. Hulk almost lost an arm doing the same. And of course, Thanos had his entire left side of the body burned out. So why all of a sudden we reduced the Infinity Stones to just mere rocks? Now I understand an argument could be made that Tony, Hulk, and Thanos were using the Infinity Stones to bring back or kill half the universe, whereas someone like Peggy Carter is just using it in the battlefield. So the stones don't have as much of an impact on her body. I understand that. But that's exactly my problem. Why do we have to bring back the Infinity Stones and repeatedly tell the same stories? The final episode is called What If Strange Supreme Had Intervened, but it's mostly about Peggy Carter. Why do we keep using Doctor Strange as the bad guy who can summon any power for the story? It seems like the writers are taking the easy way out and forcing these characters to fit their story. They could have just called the final episode What If Peggy Carter Held the 6 Infinity Stones, which would have been more appropriate, but I think we've had enough of that. Peggy, like Steve, is a soldier, so if they're gonna use her, why not for some smaller threats as well? Not everything has to involve Infinity Stones or universe-ending villains. Episode 5 worked because it had realistic problems, like Peggy's love interest causing a dilemma, aka some actual character development. But the Peggy Carter we saw in the final episode just doesn't work. I mean, talk about lazy writing. We see Hela, Thor, and the Mandarin just casually giving their weapons to Peggy Carter, who's already wielding the 6 Infinity Stones. I know the show is What If and you can do anything you want, and yet this is what you end up writing? What If Season 2 finale has done nothing for the character arcs of Doctor Strange or Peggy Carter. All it did is overpowering them, and Marvel introduced a brand new original character called Kahori. And I'm sorry to say, but that episode felt quite bland to me. The main premise of that episode is that there's an escaped Tesseract and how it empowered a whole tribe. Now there is so much Marvel could explore with an escaped Tesseract, but the episode felt like a typical comic book movie. It followed a common pattern where a character faces a problem, gets magical powers, and then solves the problem. And I think we need to move beyond this standard storyline, especially for a series called What If. And last but not least, Kahori did this to Killmonger with just a snap of her fingers. Now keep in mind, Killmonger was a major threat in the last season's final episode, leading Supreme Strange to dedicate his entire life to stopping him. But by overpowering a brand new character that he just introduced in episode 6, you just undid all the character development from season 1. When writing a new season, the goal should be to improve upon the previous one, not to erase everything that happened. This can make the audience feel disrespected, because it not only undoes the events of season 1, but also disregards the time and investment the audience put into watching the previous season. And by showing again and again how vast the multiverse is compared to the Infinity Stones, all you're doing is undermining the sacrifices Tony Stark made in the main MCU timeline. Please don't do that. A show with the title What If literally gives you freedom to do whatever you want, but you shouldn't take that power to destroy character arcs of beloved characters. In fact, I'd even go to say, what if seasons don't have to remain connected? Season 1 should end with Season 1 finale, and Season 2 should end with Season 2 finale. That way you can come up with brand new stories each season without the burden of writing connected stories. What If should leave the audience feeling refreshed and not exhausted. Now,